welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be doing a pretty big repot with me while I answer some of your questions. Today this video is sponsored. This video is sponsored by Next Gardener, an amazing online resource for getting your gardening needs, pots, soil, and utensils. You can shop from the Next Gardener on Amazon.com. They're super great and amazing to work with, and I'm really excited. They sent me some stuff which I'm going to show you right now and we're going to actually be using. So the Next Gardener sent me some amazing pots. This is a ceramic pot. Normally with pots that you see that are usually like this, that are usually sponsored, they're usually pretty crappy and gross. However, the Next Gardener pots are really, really high quality. This really does feel like someone actually made this themselves. It also comes with some amazing discs. These are the highest quality plant saucers I have ever used, I think. I'm pretty cheap, so I usually just use the plastic ones, but these ones even come with feet on the bottom of them. So not only are they a great choice, but you can pretty much put them anywhere and they look really nice. They sent me twin planters. I have both of my begonias in them. I actually really needed to pot my begonias about a week ago, so I decided to pull the trigger and I actually repotted with these early. Great, because now you can see how beautiful these pots look with these massive houseplants in them. But the really amazing thing about the Next Gardener is not only can you just buy their plants on the Amazon store, they do have their own website as well. I will have all those links at the very top of the description. So if you are interested in anything from the Next Gardener, which you definitely should be because they are very high quality, go and check those out. And thank you so much, Next Gardener, for sponsoring this video. They also sent me some soil to review, which I'm going to be doing that for you. I actually already potted these plants in the soil, and since potting these plants in these pots using this soil, my plants have been growing really fast. In fact, this Sinbad begonia has put out 5 new leaves since I repotted it a few days ago. They sent me their Professional Grower Organic Soil Mix, great for cactus and succulents, and it's made in Denmark. So yep, here are the little Next Gardener pots, and again, please check those out at the first link in the description. Thank you so much, the Next Gardener, for sponsoring this video. I'm not gonna put these pots up here where no one can see them. I want them downstairs where my friends can see them. So all right, now let's get into the actual video. I have a ton of repotting to do. It has been quite a few months since I filmed a repot with me, so I figured it was time. So in this video, I'm going to be repotting a variegated burl marx, a Hoya imbricata, a Hoya carnosa compacta variegata, a Epipremnum pinnatum albo, a Hoya AH047, a Philodendron Jerry Horn, a Philodendron Global Green, or what the heck, a Global Green Pothos. I'm going to be repotting a Dark Lord, a Philodendron Giganteum, a Monstera Stangoliana albo, and Hoya Monaloa, and I think that that's it. I am going to be using the Next Gardener soil until I run out of it, and then I'm just going to be using the normal cactus mix I would use. And we're gonna answer these questions. You guys sent me a literal ton of questions, so I'm very excited to get into it. I'm gonna put on my gloves because I do not like interacting with the soil itself. I love my little gloves. They're so cute. I feel like I should be wearing like Patagonia right now instead of a dress. Rose Zelic asks, what was my first plant? So my first houseplant, I actually bought 8. One of them was an Alocasia Frydek, which was so exciting because I really liked them. And by the way, a lot of these plants I'm literally just putting into a different pot, so I don't want to disturb the root system too much, so all I'm literally doing is just plopping them in this new pot, and that's it. This is a Hoya carnosa compacta variegata. Oh, that's okay. These ones are easy, and this one's actively growing, so I don't want to disturb its root system too much. I guess we'll do the Hoya imbricata next. It came in this wood block, and I don't know why. So I had a bunch of first house plants. One of them was an Alocasia Frydek, and that was the only plant I actually was able to hold on to. The rest of them kind of just didn't end up making it, and that's mostly because I didn't really like them that much. They were like outside plants that I like bought because I was like, oh, that'll be nice, and it's like a fully outdoor plant that I tried to keep inside, and like that's not gonna work. This is also resealable, so it's super nice. Rebecca Bello asks, do you have any tips for a stubborn cutting that hasn't rooted for weeks? I do, and my advice is that cuttings can often take 2 months or longer to root. So you're gonna wanna try to have patience longer than 2 or 3 weeks, because most of the time, especially if you're rooting like Hoya or something like that, it can take up to 6 weeks for it to root long enough for you to pot up. Here is my little Hoya imbricata. I am gonna be watering all of these at the end, again, just to settle the soil. But here is my little Hoya imbricata. He's doing his little best. Autumn Hrusik asks, do you ever feel overwhelmed by your plants? I think I used to, but I downsized my collection a lot pretty recently because I moved into this house from my old apartment, and I probably got rid of / sold a ton of my plants because of the fact that I just really did feel so overwhelmed. But right now, I actually don't feel overwhelmed with my collection, but I do feel overwhelmed with my windows. I don't feel like, wow, this is like really in there. Or I guess underwhelmed. I don't feel like I have enough windows for my plants, because while I have amazing light in this room, especially, I can put plants pretty much anywhere in this room, including hanging from the ceiling. I don't feel like I have enough windows for all of the plants that I would want to own. For example, I've been kind of getting really into succulents lately, but because my brightest window is kind of filled by Hoya pretty exclusively, I don't necessarily feel like I have enough space to start collecting succulents, even though I would really like to. Snickers 18178 asks, is the Ilsamanii price tag really worth it? And my response is, I don't know, because I did not buy my Ilsamanii, thank goodness. Number one, no matter how financially well off I become in the future, my husband will never be okay with me spending that kind of price tag on my plants, and it's not really up to him necessarily. However, I would also never be okay. No, you cannot be here. There's soil everywhere. You're gonna knock stuff over. I would also never be okay with my husband spending $7,000 on one singular thing. He's into computers, so he does spend quite a lot of money on computer parts, which is always hard for me because I don't spend a lot of money on my plants. I get, again, most of them through trade. Here's the little Epipremnum pinnatum elbow. He is extremely cute. So I don't know, I don't think so. I don't think I would ever spend that much money on a plant unless it was a gigantic plant. I think the fact that there are plants out there that are smaller than your hand that are worth more than your house is atrocious. Sam Sepia says, what is my favorite common house plant? And to that, I would probably have to say string of hearts or micans. Yeah, probably like string of hearts, honestly. I have 3 massive string of hearts. They're all exceptionally large. I love them all equally. I have one of them hanging from a kokedama. Oh my gosh, he's doing so good. This is a plant I've had in this little root ball since I got him from Botanica's when I went and visited in November, I think. Wow, he did such a good job rooting. Good job, little guy. Oh, this is so exciting. You're finally getting a pot. How do you feel? Tell the world. Caroline Z says, favorite thing about Chris. Favorite thing about Chris is how funny he is. He can find humor in literally anything. He makes me laugh really, really hard. He's just a really funny guy. He's also incredibly handsome. I think he's the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life. I think he's handsome than most celebrities I've seen in my life. He's just perfect in every way. He is obsessed with video games. I'm obsessed with video games. He's more obsessed than I am. He wants to make video games. He's teaching himself. He's so driven. I just think he's fair. He's patient. His patience is important to our relationship because I am impatient. Sky's the Limit asks, are you still planning a wedding for this year and how is that going? We're definitely not planning our big wedding for this year, which is unfortunate because we originally were going to try. Realistically, I just don't see it happening because of the fact that it's still such a thing. I honestly don't think the world will be back to normal until this winter or this next coming spring 2022. What we want to do too is like we want to have a really big wedding. Our original wedding was going to have almost 350 people in attendance because we both have very big families. It was going to be in Portland too, which is a great, we had everything picked out for the wedding, and then that bad, and we almost still had it. We did get married. We are married. We had a tiny 14-person wedding. I think we had 14 people. It could have been 20. This is my philodendron cherry horn. I love it so much, and when the leaves get massive, they just look incredible. Anna Hates You asks, does your husband think you spend too much money on plants? My husband does, or my boyfriend does. Christopher doesn't care how much money I spend on plants as long as I'm making money still. He knows that there are times when I spend a couple $100s on plants. He has more of an issue that I spend so much money on food. I like to go to the grocery store a lot. In the past, I'm definitely notorious for spending a lot of money on groceries because I like to cook and I like having things in the house so I don't have to leave. But then the issue always arises when I order food too. So it's like, okay, you just bought grocery shopping, but now you're eating out. Hi, you are so cute. So there's always that. He doesn't eat a whole lot. Like Christopher is someone who he didn't grow up with the relationship with food that I did, which is like you eat for fun. And that's gotten to me in a little bit of trouble just with myself. But I'm glad because I used to have a really unhealthy relationship with food, if you know what I mean, and I don't anymore. So I'm glad that I can enjoy eating again. However, I enjoy it a little too much right now, so I've been working on that. Hi! You're so precious. Number one plant fan says, tips for keeping your cat safe around your plants. So I have no issue keeping Raven safe around my plants because she doesn't really have an interest in them. She likes to sleep under them, doesn't like to eat them, she doesn't like to mess with them. Raven is very well behaved, but we also adopted her as an adult cat. We adopted her when she was, I think, a year old about. She likes to smell them and she gets interested by the dirt. If I did need to move plants out of her way, I would keep them on a high spot. I know that, like, if you have a plant shelf to completely fill it so that there's no room for the cat to jump up, I do that anyways because she will walk through my plants. You could go on a shopping spree into any 3 countries besides the US. Where would you go? So obviously I would go to Thailand, and then I would go to the Netherlands because I've heard that they have amazing plants there for like super low prices. Heckin' Plants with Ruse, she's always finding just like Monstera albos at her little garden center, which is incredible, and Ring of Fires and stuff like that. I don't know about another country, but I want to go plant shopping in Florida. All right, got my pothos all potted up. My friend Mavis at Ramen Queen says, how did you get that gorgeous? And I would counter with, no, how did you get that gorgeous yourself? It is Mavis's birthday, by the way. Wish her a happy birthday in the comment section. Grow Where You Are Planted asks, tips that you wish you would have known about before starting your plant journey. I actually made an entire video about this. It's called Things That the Houseplant Won't Tell You, or Topics the Houseplant Community doesn't talk about. However, I think it is a really important video to watch, and maybe that sounds like high and mighty of myself, but there's a reason I made that video. So I will link that video in the description for you to check out since you are curious. But yeah, in that video I talk a lot about taboos, do's and don'ts, things like that I think are really, really important. There's a lot more soil in this pot than I thought there would be. I love this Standleyana albo that I have so much. It is so pretty. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. You're so pretty. Oh my God. I'm gonna try to get it to root in a circle in here. Have you and Chris thought about getting any more plants? You're asking about it like it's a baby. I think about getting plants all the time. Chris doesn't care what I get. He just thinks they're cool. Plants I regret killing the most. I killed a staghorn recently that sucked really bad, and I actually killed a strawberry shake that Botanica sent me because I think I kept it too humid. And that's definitely the plant I regret killing most that I've ever killed in my life. And they're gonna watch this video and they're gonna hear me say that, and they are going to disown me as their plant child. Plants with Bella asks, do you think rare plants are truly worth the hype for the exorbitant prices, or are the prices really just because of the hype? So in my opinion, I do think that plants are for everyone. I don't think that you should need to make a certain amount of money to be able to own any plant, period. I don't think that the prices are worth it, and I think that the prices are ridiculous. I'm actually gonna air layer this, I think. This is my Philodendron Dark Lord. I love it so much, but it's getting a little long. So I think I'm actually going to air layer this. How do I know when to repot my plant? So usually if your plant is completely healthy, but then all of a sudden it just stops growing, your plant is just being a diva out of nowhere, and there's nothing wrong with your plant, you've checked the roots and everything, and let's say it's like really root bound, when you check the roots, then that would be an appropriate time to repot your plant. All out. Okay, stick this bad boy in there. You know what I don't understand is people who like never propagate their plants. They just let their plants grow and become this like absolutely massive thing. And I'm like so prop happy. I will propagate anything. Rosellac asks, how long have you been actively collecting? So I started collecting in April, March of 2019 because that's around when Jenna posted her video. And I actually, the first time I went looking for plants, my mom and I were on our way to the airport, and there was a greenhouse. And I asked her if she would stop so that I could take a look at the plants inside because I thought I kind of liked plants. And we went in and I didn't buy any plants. It sucked because I didn't get to go to REM or any of the other places I wanted to go to, and I didn't think about it till the end of the trip because it wasn't until the end of the trip that I watched her video. Here it is, by the way, in this beautiful pot. Banana Hannah 444 asks, how do I optimize small houseplant spaces? My number one thing is that you can put plants anywhere. I have plants on my wall hanging from the ceiling. I have them on the floor. I have them on my furniture. Something you can do is you can go to furniture stores and ask for their like old, beat up, banged up furniture and ask for it at a huge discount. The Hoya table that I keep all of my Hoya on, I got at a Gordon's. I got this table for $15 and it's a really nice like white table, but it's pretty beat up because they would use it to put all their other smaller furniture on. So I just asked if I could buy it from them and take it off their hands, and they said yes. My biggest hack is like, don't buy nice furniture to put your plants on. Buy gross furniture to put your plants on. Okay, and the last plant, I think we're gonna repot. We might repot a couple more because this went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. Is I'm gonna put this Hoya Mauna Loa that Harley gave me in this pot of Hoya Mauna Loa that I have. At Laurel asks, what plant has been the furthest from your expectations? And I think it's the Ilsamani, honestly, because I built it up in my head to just be this like crazy thing. And it's really not. It's a really normal plant. It's really easy, I guess, is all I really need to say. What is my biggest plant hack for getting new plants? Trading. Trading is the best. I traded for all three of these Mauna Loa. They were actually really long, and I cut them down so that I could actually trade them for other plants because there were some other plants on my wish list. And Hoya Mauna Loa is pretty expensive, so if you can trade for something is of the same range. So as long as you know what the like market price of your plant is, it will be really easy for you to make good trades and trades that make sense. Something that's always awkward is when someone proposes an unfair trade. And depending on if I actually want the plant that they're proposing to trade me, I may or may not say yes, even if the trade isn't fair, because I'm not really someone who cares about the fairest of trades. But it is awkward when I get people and they're like, can I trade you a Cebu blue for a cutting of your elbow? And it's like, no. But people want elbows so bad. I understand why they ask, but again, in that kind of advice video that I made, like things the houseplant community doesn't talk about, I do talk a lot about taboos and do's and don'ts. So if you're new to the plant community and you don't really have anyone to help you learn about those things yourself, you should definitely watch my video because I do feel like it's really informative. That looks kind of funky, but it works. It works. I've been wanting to pot those up together for a while. Oh, two of these Mauna Loa are joining hands! Oh, I'm so excited! At TG Houseplants asks your least favorite genus, and that would be crotons. Whatever crotons are, that would be my least favorite genus for sure. Ah! I need a vacuum. Oh, I'm Michaela_J98. What do you do for pest management? I just don't water my plants. I let them dry out a heck a lot, and then once I feel like they are dying for water, that is when I water them. But until I feel like they're dying for water, I don't water them because I found that they actually get pests way less. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you so much to The Next Gardener for sponsoring this video, and I hope that you guys go check out their stuff. Again, these are the pots that I got from them, and I think they are literally so nice, and they have glazed ceramic trays that come with them that are so nice with the little feet on the bottom. I repotted including these two, because I did those yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 houseplants with half of a bag of this because I used this 2 weeks ago to repot a couple of my other plants. Which actually makes sense because this can plant 32 pots of 4-inch pots, which makes a lot of sense because if I had half a bag and I used 16 and I repotted 16 plants, then yeah. It also has a lot of fun different instructions on the back of the bag to help you know what you can use it for and how much to use for what. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, thank you so much to The Next Gardener. I had an amazing time working with them, and again, the link to use the products that they sent me will be at the top of the description for you to check out. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and tweet me at PlantMeAshley. Follow me on Instagram at PlantMeAshley, and I have merch you can check out. I actually just made Throwing Hands merch, which has been by far the most successful merch launch we've ever had. So I'm so glad that you guys liked that so much because I really love it. It's my favorite design I've ever made. I also have YouTube memberships that you can go check out at the link in the description. But make sure you check out The Next Gardener first before you check out my, my subscriptions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next houseplant section. Go check out The Next Gardener!